All right, welcome everybody to the Town of Richmond Meeting Water Sewer Commission, March 3rd, 2025. Public comments?
I would just like to remind anybody who is listening, which right now is nobody, that we have a potential flooding situation this week as the temperatures will be near 50 and rain is predicted. So please exercise due caution.
Thank you, Jay. So well noted there. Any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda? Everybody's happy with it?
I'm ecstatic.
Okay, well, that's that's actually should have been a public comment. Great, thank you. All right, next up, approval of the minutes from February the 18th. Would anybody like to make a motion?
Barg, motion to approve the minutes of February 18th, 2025.
Lisa, I'll second.
Lisa seconds. Any public or discussion, corrections? Everybody's happy with the minutes. So calling for a vote on approving the minutes from February 18th. Please say your vote, please.
It's gonna make it go through the whole thing. Lisa, aye.
Aaron, I.
Bard, aye.
Morgan, aye. Motion passes. Okay. Moving right along.
I wasn't.
Right. And we have no purchase orders, but we have one warrant, right?
Yeah, one warrant.
One warrant, and I gotta go pull the warrant up here. So warrant in the amount of $38,968.43. It's a transfer warrant from water, I think, fund.
Yeah, there's two warrants.
There are two warrants.
There should be that warrant plus the regular warrant.
I can make the motion if you're ready.
Yes, please.
Approve the
Okay.
warrants and
This is Aaron. I move to approve both of the warrants as presented. The one for $38,968.43 and also the warrants. Don't really have a number, but the warrants for the monthly bills.
Oh, I see. I'm so used to, that's right. There is the other warrant for warrant number 22536 for $3,653.78. Do I have a second?
This is Bard, I'll second that.
Okay, discussion? Any questions? All right, calling for a vote on approving the two warrants as presented. Please state your vote.
Lisa, aye.
Aaron, I.
Bard, aye.
Jay, aye.
Morgan, aye. Motion passes. Okay.
Yeah, I loved it.
Got that. Okay. So first up, reminder of special water and sewer meeting on next Monday, March the 10th. So we can let's just start hitting our budget.
Review the audit.
Review the audit for 2024 and the 26. And that is
are gonna be here for that.
oh, yes.
who?
Auditors.
Auditors will be here.
The guys in the black masks and capes.
Right. Yes, that's right.
You're
Yeah.
assuming that it is just male.
That's true. You're absolutely right, because our auditors that we heard from in the select board were female.
I mean,
Hey,
we talked briefly about having, maybe the auditors could talk about the numeric software.
Yeah, I don't know how much thought I mean, we can ask them about it and like what the limitations are. I don't have a NEMRIC representative ready for
Okay.
that meeting.
Okay. Well, we can table that for another meeting, but I still got that as I think about what generally everybody can look at and easily absorb it and understand it.
Connie's redone the budget a little bit too. I mean, reorganized it a little bit, so it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
When you're going through it, I think.
But part of the challenge, and we talked with the auditors last week, Connie and I did, is that just the way the GASB instructs municipalities to do the accounting for water, wastewater, like I was expressing, like, look, it'd be great if we had one report that we could run that would be actual cash expenses, actual cash receipts. But the way that they do it, I don't think we're even if we don't use Nemrick, I'm not sure that there's gonna be a report that we can run that does it.
Hmm.
So it just gets, like, for instance, like, revenue was always billed revenue, not cash, and then they're always gonna have to transfer out the loans and add in the depreciation. And I've never been satisfied with the answer as to why. It's basically like, well, that's the way Gatsby told us to do it. It's different than the general fund. And even the general fund has its quirks where taxes is taxes billed, not actual cash in. So that bottom line number, I would like it to tie out to exactly where the audit is, but we talked for an hour and a half, and it just doesn't seem to. But we can ask more questions and see if we can keep digging.
Bart?
So, in the world and with which I'm familiar, these are what you talk about as business requirements. So what are the business requirements for the output? And we're all driven by the auditors and the general accounting, but this commission has different business requirements. And that is I think, core of the issue, that what we want to see to understand where we are with budget, year-to-date, actual planned revenues, expenses, is different than the business requirements for the accounting principles. And that's probably not resolvable. So then the question is, well, what other towns or other commissions and boards similarly situated do? Because if you ran your checkbook like this, you'd go, I have no idea if we have money or not.
Jay?
So here I am with my out of the blue answer. If the data's in the tables and spreadsheets and so forth that we get, if the source data is there, and we can put together a template of how we want it to be laid out, we could just feed that into AI and it would produce it.
Yeah, we might be able to do, I knew you were gonna say AI, but I know Connie's made some progress on spreadsheets for general fund and for water sewer to kind of pull those numbers in, and then she has references like, and then she'll provide the backup. It's quite a few steps and reports. But to Bard's point, and I told them this when we met last week, I'm like, we need to make this simple for the commission, because if I can't understand it when you're telling me, we're not gonna tell the commission in 10 minutes how this is gonna work unless we can boil this down.
And that's
And the public needs to understand too.
well, that's why
Yeah,
I say
that's the bottom
if we know that we have a 75-page document, but what we really want is this, and this,
And the component,
you can just give it a template. You have to say, this is what I want,
I love it.
produce it.
And map it.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to them explaining why things that are normally like a tax code expense thing, like the depreciation, like no one adds. Like those
Yeah.
sorts of things, like why do we do that and why is that come off of our bottom? And I understand some of it, but like those are the things that I'm sort of interested in, because that's
Because-
not something you do in normal accounting
Yeah.
unless you're doing it. in
And
Access.
again,
Still
it'll
trying
it'll be good for you guys to get that. I think
Yeah.
it'll be Samantha that'll be here from our HR. But basically her answers were, well, Gatsby tells us that's how we have to do it for proprietary or business-like accounts for
Yeah.
water sewer. So I wish that, and she was trying to take me through like, well, this page of the audit and that page, and I'm like, you're losing me. Like, I need like the elevator pitch on why we're doing it this way, and I don't know that there is one, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just that complicated. So what I think what we're left with is whether it's AI or a template that Connie puts together, we pull these reports, dump it in, and have the references. We'll probably have to do something like that. And maybe and that's where also if we talk to Nemrick and we say, is there a report that we can set up? Like when we worked with,
That's a good point.
we had a Seriousware ticket software. That was the name of the company for ticketing and seasons passes. And we had one guy at the mountain who was like a whiz with this type of stuff. And if he couldn't figure out the report, he'd call Sirius, they'd figure out a report, customize it, and then you have your report. I don't know if Nemrick works that way, but it's just a database, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so you would think there'd be a way to like figure it out with enough people that knew about the system. So I think there could be, so it's either Nemrick, it's AI, or it's Connie pulling a bunch of stuff. So I think we could have maybe some solutions. I'm not promising any of them, but I think they're all good to explore.
Well, and if Nemrick is like QuickBooks, I don't know how familiar people are with QuickBooks, but I mean, like you can ask it a zillion different reports. So maybe we're asking Nemrick for one specific report and that's not giving us the information we need, but maybe there's a way in Nemrick to be like, can you do a balance sheet and a profit and loss? Like there might be that ability and we just don't know that we can unlock that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. And that might be where we would need to call. I know Nemrick has software engineers that work on this all the time and they're accountants. So maybe we, like to your point, we bring one of them in and say, here's what we want. Can you make it happen?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Usually for those packages or a little experience has been, we can make it happen, but.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you.
Even if it costs us $2,000 or whatever to set it up, and then we have what we want
Right.
for perpetuity.
Mhm.
That, I mean, if it's,
Yeah.
I'll use one of yours. If it's free, we love it. If it's $1 million, we're not gonna buy it. If it's somewhere in the middle, there's a number that we pay.
And I would imagine it would be helpful for some of your other departments too,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
if it's
Yeah,
a
well,
one time for
okay.
all
for
Nemrick.
water sewer, yeah,
Water and sewer is a utility and they come under different,
yeah.
Does
that's what
highway
makes
use
it.
Nemrick and the fire department? or
Yeah,
no?
but really what the department heads do is they'll get the budget status report and they'll look at that to say like, okay, they'll go line by line. Does this line make sense? And Pete will be like, yeah, I spent about that much in sand, I spent about this much. Ooh, that looks high. Oh, the invoice got coded wrong. So they'll use it that way to really kind of pull it apart.
Yeah.
But I understand, I remember going back to when I was on the select board in Bolton, I'd go right to the bottom and be like, this makes no sense because our revenue was like for the full year and like the budget, like, because when we would do financials at Bolton Valley, at the mountain, you would get budget year to date, actuals year to date, and you could say, hey, really easily, are we on or off?
Mhm.
And then when you look at municipal, and that's where when I would go put my select board hat on and go, well, the budget is full year and these are just like the middle of April. Like, what am I looking at? And it was really hard to figure it out, no matter how much our clerk gave us. And she gave, I think it was like every other meeting we had financials to look at.
But it's,
But to like, I mean, if you do a quarter, at least you can be like, okay, 25, 50, you sort of
yeah,
can do those benchmarks. But again, maybe there's some questions for Nemrick. Can they do something different?
it is odd because if you take something like QuickBooks or any of those, it's really a sophisticated spreadsheet. So you say from March 1st till June the 30th,
Mhm.
and boom, you have it, each column actual and budget. But
Oh.
here, it seems like budget's 12 months, right?
Yeah.
And now we have to then start parsing up 25%, 50%. And it's easy to see that. I mean, in a sense, isn't it? Budget 100,000 and it's March 31st and we've spent 25,000. Okay.
Yeah.
That's easy to get, but it is, I think for most people can understand QuickBooks pretty easy.
And I don't know if we'll ever get it where the budget shows it 25 or 50%, but if we could make it so it's only actual cash and not depreciation and loans
Right.
come in and go out. I could do the other math if we could get it to be just straight cash
Yeah.
in there. But we'll keep trying. It's just unfortunately not quick solutions or answers to any of it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Did we finish that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, so March, next Monday. Item B, consideration of recommending that the select board approve submitting the Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan application for planning for flood resilience of the wastewater pump station force main. I know Steve would be happy about that, seeing that, or have we already spent some of this money or?
Well, they're just getting started on it, really.
Yeah, why is this not loading? I just realized that the packet doesn't want to load.
You gotta click, I had to do this.
Where do you have to click?
No, because, yeah, it's so weird thing.
That's frustrating because people who want to see it, because I was just gonna,
How are you running low?
I can pull it up a different way though. Sorry, if you want to talk to it.
Well,
but-
it's basically the loan for the engineering part,
Right.
It's okay, but different.
for them to
Or-
start
Design.
coming up with a design. One of the things they want to know is one of the things that ideally should happen is the pump station should come out of the low area. The only problem is a new pump station would ideally somewhere closer to the round church. And that logically is the only place, but what is the feelings of having another structure?
Can we make it look like the?
I was gonna say a
church?
mini round church.
I asked the engineer and he's like, we'll do whatever we have to if we can put it closer up the hill. Um,
I think it's one of those things where functionality and flood resilience is more important than looking pretty.
well, yeah, I mean, I think, and I would want it tastefully done to blend into what is there, you know. I wouldn't want a cement structure just plopped in front of the round church. I mean, or up the hill towards the round church. I would like it to blend in with the surroundings, maybe make it look old, like a shed or something that, you know what I mean? I mean, not,
Yeah.
But-
Put a structure around it, make
Right.
it look,
and I thought
You
that,
can always put four of those, wicker screens that grow ivy on it, and then no one's even gonna know what's in there.
How close does it have to be to the existing pump station?
ideally somewhere and this is all, I mean, they wanted to know when they start running numbers, how far they could go up the hill towards, it would be located on the other side of the road in that sledding hill area somewhere. With,
So-
not at the sledding hill,
Can
but
we pull up a map? Just because this is sort of an abstract
Yeah.
discussion. but
yeah,
looking
I
at
mean, it's
I
one of the
just
things
didn't
they
know if it
wanted me to
could
bring
be-
up to you guys.
So I have two questions. So when they move it, we're moving it wherever the sewer line, so it needs to sit over top of the sewer?
No, it does not need to sit, they will engineer the sewer lines to wherever they can put the pump station
Hmm.
and feel that it's not gonna be flooded.
But the least expensive way would be able to get it as close to the sewer line as possible.
Well, yeah, but the sewer line is right in the middle of the road.
So
Right.
it seems to me we want to know a couple of things. Where are the current sewer lines? What is the right of way in which the town has more ability to construct?
So the
current pump station.
the sewer line runs right down the middle of Bridge Street.
Yep.
It's just to one lane, it's just towards Mrs. Foley's,
Mhm.
the red house. But it's almost right on the yellow line,
And where is the water line relative to the sewage one?
Nobody knows.
on the other side. It's on the other side
The
of the
round
road.
church side,
Yes.
Right here.
which is another setback issue.
Yeah, I don't.
Have to be not next to each other, right?
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they can travel, they could cross each other. I mean, if they had to bring the sewer line down, they could cross over. That isn't an issue.
But this illustrates, I think, the point, Morgan, that like, if you actually have a schematic, it says, here's where the water line is, here's where the sewage line is.
Right.
Here's where the right of way begins and ends. What easements exist? You know, this is like, not.
Yeah.
I don't say it's negatively, but it kind of a can of worms between the historical significance, the parking area.
Mhm.
That field is used for during events. And then you gotta try to pick like, okay, where is the spot
Well,
that's both desirable and.
I mean, they wanted to feel, I mean, this loan is to pay for the engineering. All of that they will figure out, but one of the first questions that he asked me, was, are they opposed to it being towards the round church or in the round church view?
Well, at the risk of making it sound super simple and having it really not be, there is a little enclosure on the side of the round church closest to the parking area where there's a portage on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's gonna be right there
But if we're gonna put something junky.
ideally it would,
Another something junky.
yeah. I mean, ideally, it would be here, somewhere in this area, close to the road.
And how tall is it gonna be?
Right, that was my question.
I mean, I don't know.
So all those things are my.
They
my
just wanted, the
observation.
first thing they wanted to know was,
I can't tell. I can't answer the question based on the information today.
The other worry I have, whenever you're putting something important close to a road, some drunk will take it out.
Mm.
So is it gonna be
Well-
solid enough it can take a collision?
I mean, Self-Burlington
Can I
had
just-
one of their pump stations
Can I
in.
just jump in on the conversation quickly. We're not being asked to make those decisions right now. All
Okay.
we're gonna do is put in the application for the loan. And then I think a good next
Yeah.
step would be to invite them to come back when they have some preliminary information.
Right, I mean, he just said,
Again,
is it
right
off
now we have
limits?
more questions and we have.
Just having such a good time, man. Don't
I mean,
Oh, I agree, but.
Is it off
Time to
limits?
burn here.
And I said, if it was tastefully done, I think it would not be.
So
I was
let's,
like, we need. more-
Mr. Chairman, I move to recommend to the select board that they approve the submittal of the Clean Water State Revolving Fund loan application for planning for flood resiliency of the wastewater pump station and force main.
have a second?
I'll second.
Aaron second. Any further discussion about the one? Okay.
The
Please-
loan, no. The placement, yes.
Okay, to be taken up later, but, please, state your vote.
Lisa, I.
Aaron, I.
Bart, I.
J.I.
Morgan, aye, motion passes. Okay. I guess just one quick question. I saw in there March to January or January 1st, March 31st, they'd already done so much and they would be finished by May, but yeah, where I was reading that.
I mean,
Is that on the application?
I think so. I don't remember. Anyway, it's not.
they have done some,
Right.
but
I'm just,
I know we've talked about when we're gonna,
initiation date, February 25, completion date, July 25.
okay, all right.
So, yeah, they're looking to do it in the next few months, so I imagine they would come to us or to the commission for an update on. This is what we're
I
thinking,
mean,
these are
I
more
haven't,
details.
I haven't even finished getting the flows and stuff that they want.
They're still gathering a bunch of data.
Okay, good, right, thank
But
you.
This should get us I think it should be 100% subsidized for this portion of the project anyway, which would be, what are they estimating, 78,508. So step one planning should be 100% subsidized, and select board's the body that will ultimately make the decision because they're the ones with borrowing authority, even though it'll be 100% subsidized.
Okay, great, thank you. Now, the most important thing for the night, our new logo.
I mean, to tell you the truth, I was fully going to just make a sandwich board with both logos on it and have it up at the town meeting. I didn't get there today, so.
Well, I'm just gonna observe as a point of fact that most of the voters are not payers into the water sewer
Right.
system.
But they might buy t-shirts.
Well, no, I'm calling out the question because like,
Yeah.
you know, where I was leaning frankly was towards our spring meeting,
Okay,
the annual meeting where it's actually designed for customers.
well, I can have a logo board put up by then.
Well, that's where I was going because it makes it easier and those are the folks who are literally and figuratively invested
Mhm.
and we sometimes have trouble getting people there. And
It
this
might
might
be-
be another,
Good
Like-
marketing. hook there.
It's a logo party.
Yeah.
yeah. For those of us who remember, what color should the bridge be?
Oh,
Um,
God.
They didn't make the color on it.
Option.
Purple?
It would have been, we could have done it one cost, or we could make it red for twice the cost, so we went with twice the cost.
But the historical significance, right?
Oh, yeah.
Historical.
So where I'm going is sometimes
Yeah.
people get invested in these pro
Right.
and con in various ways, but my bias is that the people who fund the system should disproportionately be given a voice in this. Does that make sense to people generally?
Mhm.
Next bill going out, end of March.
March.
So we could maybe put something in the bill, put a website up to say, hey, come take a look at the logo.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, Duncan, well, voting could be tough because people could vote 12 times like the All-Star game, but maybe there's a way to like send us some feedback or something.
Well, if you use something like, Survey Monkey, you can record the IP address. and
Oh,
vote
there
from
you
it.
go. Yep.
And so it's not a perfect thing, because maybe
Yeah.
a husband and wife each want to vote, but you can
Right.
tell if somebody's really trying to hack
For a
it.
straw poll, you might be able to do something.
I mean, this isn't meant to be insulting, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I don't think anyone's gonna probably vote like 12 or 15, maybe, but like, I don't know that the stake
You don't
will
know
get
how
high enough.
strongly they.
probably, like, I don't think we have to
It's
do
not-
too
not-
much
it's not that
deterrent from
exciting,
over
huh?
voting.
Could probably do something like one vote per email address.
Look, we were just
So
trying to
voted
get some new
other
shirts.
email
Yeah.
addresses.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could probably do that, set up a poll, maybe put
Yeah.
a tip into the billing along with the explanation of the bills with new water
That's a good
meters.
idea.
The other thing I really would like you to do, I was thinking about this after last meeting. I don't know who you contract with for the town to get like shirts and stuff.
See, there is,
But-
well,
Well, hold on. I think you should ask because if you are gonna do embroidery, but like I don't know what you're allowed to do when you order shirts at a municipality, but like if you guys were looking at getting it put on, like the zipper vesty fluorescent things, or like if you were gonna get any sun shirts or something, sometimes they can't print certain things on them, I have learned.
so we typically buy whatever shirts and apparel we want and send it out.
Yeah.
Pete uses a different company where he buys, and he's been really happy with the apparel. So that's where we started with it. They don't have our logo yet.
Yeah,
We talked amongst ourselves about getting a new type of logo. And then we were gonna go with this other company where we can get the shirts and stuff
Okay.
done with our new logo. That's how this all started at the water plant.
I'm sorry, Bart, go ahead.
Just one wrinkle. So, thank you for bringing up the highway department. I started to think a while ago about a generic like Richmond town hat that might be used across departments.
Yeah,
That's another thing. It's a little different than this specific
Yeah.
water resources logo, but
Sure.
maybe that's another thing to contemplate, because then everybody's wearing the same hat.
yeah,
We're all on the same team.
we are.
I'll bring up the 4-letter word money. 5.
We sell them to the public.
Okay, no, but I mean, it's just, we change the logo and then when you get something new printed up, you just put on the new logo, right? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, like I said, how this started was we decided we would like to get a new logo. And I got my stepdaughter to
Yeah.
do it, and she was happy to. And I thought she did a pretty good job, and so we were going from there.
Right.
I said, give me a few choices. We outlined one choice right away, and that's where we are.
But I think to your point, this isn't like a rebranding at a company where you would then all of a sudden change everything all at once,
Right.
right? I think it's,
No.
we ran out of letterhead. The new letterhead will have this logo, unless you guys want to spend a lot of money. The other thought on selling to the public, and we'd have to vet this out a little bit more for use by the municipality. But one of the things we do for Little League is we have a team store and people can go in and order a bunch of items. So you don't pre-print anything.
Right.
Right?
People
Yeah.
order stuff and then it ships à la carte. So.
Yeah, like custom made.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
be able to do, and then like the Little League gets like a certain amount and they keep a certain amount. I
Yeah,
don't
you
think
just
we
say
do
how
that
much
for
markup you want,
municipalities, but
decide
we
it,
might
right.
be able to do something like that, because people might really want some Richmond logo stuff.
Remember when the bridge was, do you remember when the bridge was out and we had the local mission ferry going across?
I just moved here, yes.
Okay, well, somebody was hawking shirts that basically celebrated the bridge outage and they sold a lot of those shirts.
So get some of that to offset rates and taxes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean.
or even if it built credit for them to buy
yeah,
stuff for
something
themselves, like that would even be fine.
Could be fun.
All we were looking for was a new logo, so we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
some new shirts.
I just
And-
wanted to ask, because I've run into that with the farm, that I can't always do what I want to do.
Mm,
Do the
'Cause it's
chickens
like-
really care what shirts they wear?
No, but I need to get a chicken shirt. They're wearing sunglasses now, but we can talk about that later. But I think the best way, I like the idea, and we could also put it on front porch forum, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
At some point, whether it's gonna be with the meeting or whatever, but like, these are our 2 pictures. If you have interest, here's some links.
Yes, okay. Well, I asked the money question just because I'm sure somebody will go, oh, we're spending more money. You want to be able to go, but it's not costing us anything.
Really, we haven't spent any money yet,
Yeah,
and we have it in the budget for shirts and stuff
Mm-hmm.
already under our uniforms.
doesn't.
We were just looking for some.
Right,
Mhm.
good.
Would you like us to figure out a way to do it before May so you can order things before May? Is that, I feel like maybe that's,
No, I mean,
I
we
reading between the
can do
lines?
this. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not worried about it.
because if you like are all needing,
No, I
Stuff.
mean, well, I was today.
Okay,
An hour in the dryer and they were all back to dry, but,
Okay.
no, we're all set. I mean, we're not desperately, but we would like to, one thing, we all wear hats, all three of us. I would like us all to be wearing the same hat.
Now, can
John
you get
Deere?
stickers to put on? Do you guys ever wear hard hats?
Yeah, we have hard hats.
So you can get the stickers to put on the hard hats.
Yeah.
okay, good. So we're going to. You're gonna do
I'll
some
put
board-
together a sandwich board for the annual meeting and
We'll start,
Do some outreach before that too, maybe do a survey.
maybe once I get it done, I'll try to get it done sometime here this
Month.
beginning of the month.
Yeah.
I'll just throw it in the town clerk's office.
Do you have a sandwich board?
Yeah.
I can talk to Duncan, he can probably set up a Survey Monkey thing that people can just go vote on, and that way it's
Get with it.
easy way to vote rather than like anything like paper.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's,
And I have that graphic design software, so like if it would be helpful to take what she has and make you some
Oh, yeah.
posters or something, it's easy enough to do. Cool.
right, okay, Survey Monkey. Poster board.
Let's look into the next bill even.
And then we'll start putting it in ads that we're gonna
Tattoos.
there you go.
have yeah.
And I do think letting the customers know that like the fish are not in date anymore. you know,
Mm.
Like
They
we
aren't
don't,
there.
we
They
don't
aren't
have
there.
fish anymore, so
The
we're,
ducks are there.
yeah. And they're at the farm too. Was gonna text you and then I forgot.
It's a good sign.
Mhm.
Richmond.
But
The Richmond Ducks.
It's like.
That is a great name for a ball club.
The Richmond
Richmond
Ducks.
Ducks.
No one's ever thought of
What was that movie?
The Mighty
Oh,
Ducks.
Yeah, the Mighty
The Mighty
Ducks.
Ducks.
Yeah.
Lots of ducks.
Right, okay.
Oh,
that. So maybe
still-
we'll have you new hats by the time you have to finish the last of the water meters.
oh, they're gonna be done soon.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Conditional.
Then you'll mail out in the next bill.
yeah, I think we can do something like that. Once
Yeah.
we get- I mean, we got 4 weeks to figure that out. Which will go by quick, but we'll try.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? About logos? Steve,
Yeah.
update on water meter, please.
They are going really well. This is the final list of meters to install. The yellow ones are ones that I'm working on getting dates for. The orange ones are all we have appointments for. The white ones are ones, and there are only 18 of them, that we have had no communication whatsoever with the people. We either don't have phone numbers. We now have a database for every customer, almost except for these 18, with a phone number that's current. So we try calling, we try posting the house. And the final thing is we're gonna include a flyer into the bill at the end, if we can't get them by then. Most people, and we have taken to posting the doors daily with different color flyers. That seems to work. We get a call very quickly. Either one, it says, please don't post my door anymore. Please let me change your water meter. But it's working. So we are really, and the system is working great. We had a customer, I am now monitoring consumption daily. I have it set at 500 gallons, so I go on in the morning and I check. And if anybody is consumed more than 500 gallons, it flags them and shows me who it is. We had a customer even the restaurants and stuff very seldom use more than 500 gallons.
Oh,
The brewery, I can tell you exactly what days they draw beer because
What they're making?
they are over 500 gallons.
Hmm.
But we had a customer last week. They were gone away on vacation, had a house sitter there. I got flagged, the house got flagged one day. I called, didn't get an answer. The next day, they were flagged again. I went up, posted the door with a graph and showing the water use for the day before. The house sitter called me. I am so sorry. I'm house sitting. They told me they had a bad toilet, that I needed to wiggle the handle. I must not have wiggled the handle. She wiggled the handle, and I said, well, when
That
they come
toilet-
back,
500 gallons for a toilet?
we had one customer using 3,500 gallons a day with a leaky toilet.
Wow.
Do the math, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet Simone's, I'll tell you, they had a leaky toilet. I went up. She said, I said, I'm assuming you have a toilet leak because with a toilet leak, it's every hour of the day and it's almost a straight line of consumption. She says, yeah, I know, we had it fixed. I said, no, it isn't fixed.
They took the money.
Well, it was not fixed. She had it refixed. The next day it was back to zero. But that one was,
Did she give you a free donut?
no,
They don't make donuts.
no.
Croissant.
She was really happy about it. The other customers have been really happy about it.
Nice.
This customer last week that we found, when they were on vacation, when they come back, I'm gonna have a discussion with them. Hey, this leaky toilet with just once a day, if you forget it, you're looking at, this is why your bill is so much. And now I have, hard data that I can show them. And pretty soon they'll have that ability too.
On your list of people that are not contacting you back, are they landlords?
A couple of them are, yeah.
Because I wonder if there's people that maybe don't.
But
live on the
we have created the notes so that it says if you're receiving this
Give it to your landlord.
and your landlord, you're a renter, call your landlord.
Okay, well, good.
But
I hope those
so
people-
we are really, the guys have really done well. And yes, we installed one today where the disconnected the old meter. Brad turned around and the valve blew right off of the supply line. And it was a 3/4 inch full stream of water coming into the basement.
That's not good, right?
No, that was not good. I showed Brad how to put a valve onto a line with their full strain, and I was severely wet, but luckily the basement was clean and nothing really stored down there because they have water issues anyway. And they had a sub pump that was not connected to the system, so. They were not upset. They were actually, a little bit happy. They're like, that could have just come off
Yeah.
anytime
Right.
Is that threaded?
if we had just, huh?
Is it threaded?
It was old style compression fitting type thing. And it didn't, it was I had never seen one like it,
Mhm.
ever, anywhere. It was the first one I'd seen like that. We put a new modern compression fitting on it
Mhm.
and
Somebody
it-
probably didn't bite it in.
and it tightened right up and shut the valve off and the water stopped. But, yeah,
Hmm.
so
Good.
they were like, well, that could have happened when we were gone or, come home and the basement is full.
I admire their sang fraud.
Huh?
I admire their equanimity.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have counted because it was before the meter.
Mm. Huh? You don't.
Okay.
know that.
So yeah, water meters are great. Doing well.
Good, good. And could be close to being finished up as best you could by June 1st, huh?
I'm looking at tax day. That's our goal.
Hopefully
Um,
those last few will contact you. Until then, you've got to go around looking at some.
Yeah, I mean, but we expected that. Some of the other ones that we have to do are large meters that we have to get plumbers involved.
Hmm.
But we did 51 West Main was an 1.5 meter. We got their plumber it had to be cut and they did that. That meter's installed. That meter has been estimated since I started here. It has been broken.
Hmm.
So that's going on 3 years.
Really?
Yeah,
They might be shocked and,
One
well,
way or the other.
yeah, they might be.
that's an apartment complex?
8 apartments.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've been estimating it for probably close to 5 years.
Right.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't lie.
What? Can I ask, how does that come to be that we have a customer, we just don't know what they're using for 5 years?
So it started at home. When I first started here, I was assigned to go look at that meter because it was failed. When I went in there, I took a picture of the setup and it is an 8-inch it is a 8-inch water main going into the basement.
Wow.
The building had sprinkler systems originally, and they had been done away with. So there was an 8-inch main with a 2.5 inch off of it. The problem was the 8-inch main had a gate valve on top with no way of stopping. Anybody could have gone into that basement and opened an 8-inch water main
Oof.
and flooded basically Bridge Street. So when I took that picture, Kendall was mortified. We contacted the landlord. They immediately rectified. They came in, they shut the water. We shut the water off at the street. They had a plumber come in and put a plate, take the gate valve off, put a plate. So there was, no way that they could, which is normal. No way they could open up that gate valve and flood. At that time, we talked about changing the meter. Kendall didn't have an 1.5 inch meter in stock. And then it went on. When Kendall went, Alan was here, and then I took over and we got the new meters, and it's been on our list, and we finally got it done. So it is now done.
Okay.
Well done.
But it was common for that is not the norm. That is not uncommon to see estimates to go on for several years in the past.
We used to get the same water bill like months and months and months in a row. And then we would get, like when we had our leak, when I pulled all the past water bills, it was the same number for the 6 months or the 6 bills prior to the one that we got that was really high. Cause I was like, oh, that's weird. Like our water bill is always like $136. And then when I pulled it up, we'd had 6 consecutive $136 water bills. So I don't know how long our water was leaking for.
Yeah.
I think that was a common,
I've seen
we'd
where
skip them and
a building in a small town where they didn't want to spend money on meters and they charge you per square foot.
Well, I understand if the
Yeah.
whole system runs that way, or
Yeah.
like Bolton Valley, they don't have meters on everybody.
It's cost for
So,
everybody.
yeah.
Right.
so I understand that. It's just striking that
When we have
a
meters.
whole bunch of people are having meters in high cost, and then we're estimating it for other people. I find that problematic.
Right.
Well, we can all be very thankful that we're.
That day is past.
That day is past, and
Yeah.
I can tell you that is irritated me from day one with the meter issue that was going on.
Steve, have you ever had a chance to look at a place that had been estimated for a long time, then you had a meter on it? To see what it.
Most of them were just about right.
Wow.
This is the largest one that had been estimated for so long. And I'm curious to see what happens when he gets the actual water bill.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Water meters, it sounds pretty good. At some point, we'll get to where we can understanding how to go online and look at our own water use.
Yeah, that they're in the process of putting together that right now. And I hope to within, the next couple of weeks, because part of it was they wanted us to have a large number of meters and we got them.
Right.
So
One
now,
of the, maybe we have at the annual meeting, maybe we invite people to come to the annual meeting to also learn about
Have a demo.
a demo of the website thing, and then we'll get some more people, we get some voting.
I can tell you,
Might need a
every
bigger room.
customer that I dealt with, when I notify them that they've had a high consumption, everyone has come back and said, thank you.
Yeah.
This is great. And I
Yeah.
said, well, eventually you will be able to do this on your own, but,
Good.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, good. Last up, superintendent report on non-water meters.
plant's running great. One thing at the wastewater plant that we're dealing with right now is, we just were notified by, Casella that we are required before July 1st to test our biosolids for PFAS.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And if our biosolids test higher than New York's level, then we're gonna have to find an alternative.
So that's the standard in New York?
Well,
Well, that's
that's
where the
because
stuff is
that's
being
where our
dumped.
biosolids go.
Hmm.
Um,
What's the name of the place? Greenfields?
You had to ask me.
Grasslands.
Grass.
Yes, there you go.
But that's,
well,
So it's coming down the pike, and when I notified the lab to get them to put a COC and everything ready for me, they're like, you're not the only one. So
so
we
we
have a sense of, have
we
you?
have, because we've never tested, we have no idea.
Hmm.
So I got the test kit today. And we are not pressing right now, but the first time we get a chance to press, my plan is to run a test, find out where we are.
Baseline. Do you have to test each pressing or?
No, well, they want, if you're pressing for an 8-hour day, they would like a composite sample, so every hour you take a certain percentage out of a small sample,
Okay.
and then mix it all up and then send it in. They're very particular. We've never tested for PFAS, but you can't use any plastics. You
I don't
can't
wanna do
use,
that.
it has to all be stainless steel.
Mhm.
There's a whole regimen of stuff that we've gotta get a mixing bowl now that's stainless steel.
you
to
can't
do-
use glass?
They say stainless, they don't, I mean, I assume you could use glass,
Safer.
but
So, I'm sorry, if our numbers are too high, Casella is totally off the table or only Grasslands is off the table?
well, grasslands, the only other alternative would be
Me.
the landfill.
Sell it to the landfill, because we try to send as much to Grasslands as possible.
Yeah, we send right now, they've been taking everything.
And it seems like in the way, I mean, you can't really control water or wastewater.
No.
But at least if it's water, it would be a ground source, whereas if it's wastewater, does that have to do with what people are ingesting? So like food they eat,
Everything.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
like the
Good point.
washing machine,
So I've done a
yeah, the
little,
dishwasher.
so
all of
I've
it.
done a little research.
That might be.
I've done a little research, and right now is a good time for us to take our test because we only took 100,000 gallons of septage
Oh, yeah, that's true.
in the month of February. That's the lowest we've ever taken. When you take a higher percentage of septage, from what I see in
Risk gets
data, the septage tends to drive it higher,
Oh,
your PFAS.
Interesting.
yeah, that,
Because you're not getting, you sometimes are getting like commercial pump stations. Or like a Windcraft, when they pump out a holding tank of stuff there. And mix it with septage and bring it in, which we don't have any control of.
Yeah,
So, right now, that's one reason I was in a hurry to try to get it as soon as I can. Because our numbers might be good enough to just say, here, we're doing great.
Mhm.
Well,
Interesting.
it's
Do it up.
nerve wracking, worrying, but
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I have not slept and I've done a lot of reading about PFAS.
They're
It is
everywhere.
everywhere
Mhm.
and it does not go away. I was talking with the engineers today. One of the things that they're talking about in the whole state is the possibility of building like 3 regional PFAS elimination type structure, buildings, processes and plants. Be one in White River, one in Rutland area, and the other one would be in this area. And that would take care of municipal sludge, you know, biosolids, stuff like that. Basically, it's a process where it turns it into water vapor and mineral rich ash,
Hmm.
which is a product that they can get rid of.
Hmm.
The PFAS is totally eliminated.
Burned.
They don't call it burning, they call it a different
Oxidation.
process.
oxidation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well, when
Yeah,
it ends
that's
up
a
with
chemical
ash.
process.
They've changed all the like chemicals that we use to like wash all the milking equipment now has no PFAS in it. Like all the colors of the
Yeah.
IBA stuff is all different because it's PFAS free.
yeah. And,
Mhm.
and
So people
You
are
know,
coming around to
for
it.
years, people installed Teflon tape.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Teflon is a big
Mhm.
PFAS.
Mhm. Firefighting foam.
Yeah,
Big one.
firefighting foams.
I've heard some of that foam actually has changed now,
Oh, yeah.
and they have.
Yeah,
without-
for a
without
long
the
time,
PFAS in
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
even for the
But-
liquid fires.
But it's still around.
Yeah,
I mean,
it probably is.
the chemicals don't go anywhere.
Oh, right, but like any new.
Right, yeah, they've already changed the
Yeah.
chemical makeup of it.
Mhm.
My dad
So-
says PFAS is the asbestos of my generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
that's
say,
an analogy. Yeah.
yeah.
So this way you don't feel left out.
Right. He owns an asbestos abatement company, but he says PFAS is the asbestos of.
Yeah. So,
And
Yeah.
Dry cleaning uses a lot of PFAS chemicals too.
Huh?
Do.
Dry
Mhm.
cleaning.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
so stay tuned.
Waterproofing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we, you know, we take a lot of septage when we can, and we dewater it. It would be nice to have a place for our solids to go.
And this solids in grasslands is different than the one that when the contract first came out was going to go somewhere else? Or has it always been grasslands?
No, there was a Quebec facility, but
There used to be, yeah, but Canada
Gonna take it.
Right,
closed their gates long ago.
right.
Yeah,
They kind of saw the writing on the wall.
So grasslands is really the only place.
right.
There is,
So it goes to, so for Casella, it goes to grasslands or the landfill.
correct.
But like Canada was like another player that might have bid and didn't bid, so we were down to just Casella, but they have 2 spots they take it to.
Right.
So if grasslands is off the table, then it's Casella that would take it to the landfill.
And then that would be more money?
I think it's less money. to
But
go to the
is this the
landfill.
Coventry landfill that's almost full?
But the landfill has a limited,
Right.
so you're only, and then if you've got, like right now, there's probably only a couple that go to the landfill. Like they only ship ours to the landfill when the grasslands is broke down or something. Almost all of ours goes there. If we started sending ours to the landfill, that's gonna fill the landfill up quicker. And then you think, well, all the other towns around are going to the landfill. South Burlington sends theirs to a processing plant in Massachusetts. The reason they do that is we make class B biosolids and they make a class A biosolids. I think we could make a class A, but I'm pretty sure Massachusetts PFAS regs are going to be as stringent as New
Yeah.
York's are.
Okay.
Is that the edible version?
So, huh?
Is that the edible version? Class A.
Practically.
I would imagine we'll probably see. Like we're probably getting towards the top of like people are gonna start failing for PFAS and whatnot, and now just seeing it trending, like people taking it out of like what we do and things like that, we
Yeah.
might see it go back down in a few years. We may have, hopefully
The
it'll,
problem is, any of those chemicals right now, they're
Still
here.
exists, yeah.
right.
They don't go away.
It, if, there are places that have to take them out of their drinking water. What do they do
Right.
with them?
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap
They
this.
put them into either a landfill, well, then they leach out, or could leach out. They're still here, you know, and the alternative is incineration,
Yeah,
oxidation.
destruction.
Let's
Yeah.
go ahead and wrap this up.
Yep.
So,
Oh, yeah, okay.
So.
I can make the motion to adjourn.
Well, we're gonna ask what we want to talk
Oh,
about
right.
in our next meeting.
We'll have the water numbers.
Water
know that.
numbers, right, water numbers. Any more on the logo or
I think we're good on that.
maybe a month out, we'll talk
Yeah.
about logo.
I'll put together a sandwich board and bring it in.
I would imagine we'll have some conversations based on our meeting next week.
Yeah, probably some.
That will then start to talk a little bit about the budget and how we process
26.
the information we
Yeah.
have.
Yes.
And we're still meeting on the 17th,
Yeah.
even though it's St. Patrick's Day,
Even though it's like that,
except for all these other holidays.
just wear your.
We could go to the plants and see
Holiday
if
of
it's
my
turned
people.
gray.
That's right. We'll put in there, make sure you put a note out to wear your green on that.
Comes out blue
Oh,
on.
yeah.
It comes out blue when we take a lot of portalette waste.
Mm, all right.
Okay,
Okay.
so now I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, please, anybody want a second?
I'll second. Lisa,
Just a second. Please state your vote.
Lisa, aye.
Aaron, I.
Aren't I?
We're gonna, motion or meeting adjourned.